you know, so Prabhuji is doctor by qualification, and he went for further education to US. Then he has a postgraduate diploma in psychological counseling also. So in ISKCON he has got a lot of positions right now. Also he holds a lot of position in ISKCON. So this is just a few of those positions which he holds. So he is a trustee of Sri Chaitanya Seva Trust. This Chaitanya Seva Trust runs 12 hospitals in India. Currently, he is serving as a deputy director of Bhakti Vedanta Group of Hospitals and Research Institute, and he is the head of departments of spiritual care and palliative care. This trust runs 4 hospitals in Mira Road, 2 in Mathura, UP, and 6 in villages of Thane district. And Prabhuji is the pioneer of Bhakti Vedanta Hospital's eye services in Barsana, Mathura. So this is a very common eye care campaigning which ISKCON undertakes, and Prabhuji heads it. And Prabhuji is now constructing Bhakti Vedanta Eye Hospital in Barsana, which is yet to come up. So academically, Prabhuji is chief faculty of Bhakti Vedanta Institute of Nursing Education in the subject of spiritual care in nursing, pioneer in making the syllabus of spiritual care in nursing, teacher of the end of life spiritual care at Bhakti Vedanta Hospice. भक्ति वेदांता हॉस्पिस के बारे में हमने एक बार आपको पहले भी बताया था, जहाँ सबको याद होगा गुनाग्राही महाराज जहाँ पे एडमिट थे ड्यूरिंग हिज लास्ट डेज. So Prabhuji takes care of all these things. Prabhuji takes care of, and he is also a pioneer and leader of annual spiritual retreats organized by Bhakti Vedanta Hospital. He is senior spiritual counselor of Radha Gopinath Bhakt Samaj from 1989, not 2009 or 19. Please read it correctly. He is taking care of this seva from 1989. He is spiritual counselor for consultant doctors and senior nurses of Bhakti Vedanta Hospital. He regularly speaks of Bhagavad Gita on Atma, on the subject Atma on serial, broadcasted on Star Plus, Colors, and different channels. Now he is regularly featuring on Hare Krishna TV also, and he is also conducting yatras, online yatras and sessions on Zoom. So this is in very short about Prabhuji, which we wanted all of you to know about. So by this you can understand how busy Prabhuji is, and still he spared this hour for us. Right now also he is not in Mumbai. He is basically based in Mumbai. Right now he is not in Mumbai. He's at a place called Nigri near Pune. So he has gone there for 4 days Balaram Katha. 4 days, 2 sessions every day. So 8 sessions of Balaram Katha he will conduct in Nigri. So thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for sparing your time for us. Your 1 hour means a lot. We understand that. So we wanted to I wanted to thank you on behalf of everybody. And over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Am I audible fully?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So at the outset, I want to invite you to attend the Balaram Katha on Zoom. We'll explore it tomorrow, and we'll send the link to you and everything in detail. I am very grateful to all of you for having invited me with you in this auspicious day evening. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. So today it is very auspicious day where we are celebrating Raksha-Bandhan. It's a very famous Indian festival, and tomorrow is the Shravan Purnima, full moon day of month of Shravan, very auspicious second month of Chaturmasya, where Lord Balaram appears. He appeared 5,000 years back in the 28th Dwapar Yuga of Vaivasvata Manu tenure. That means when Vaivasvata Manu becomes the Manu, one who is Vaivasvata, that means he is son of Vivaswan, Surya Dev. When his tenure comes, 27 Yuga cycles pass by, and 28th Chatur Yuga, when it starts, in that Chatur Yuga, when Dwapar Yuga comes, in the month of Shravan, full moon night, full moon day, Lord Balaram appears. So this is a very auspicious day. So in our ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, we do not hear about Raksha-Bandhan. But definitely in the Vedic culture, Vedic Sanskriti, it's a very important festival. There are many wonderful stories in Puranas about this festival of Raksha-Bandhan. First thing I'll tell about today. There is something called as Bhadra Vishtikaran timings. That means it is a very inauspicious time period during the day. And Bhadra happened to be the fourth child of Surya Dev. That means first child, but amongst the four, she is the one. Surya Dev had Tapti Devi, who is a river in Gujarat, as her first daughter. Then Surya Dev got Yamraj as a second child, Yamuna as third child, and Shani Dev as fourth child. And fifth one was Bhadra Devi. And all the four were great devotees, and fifth one was notorious, sinful personality. She could not be changed by Surya Dev and his wife after long efforts by visiting many demigods, including Brahma and Shiva. She just remained what she was. So then, because she was very powerful, very negative, demoniac in nature, but she was very powerful because of her tapasya. So she got some position like Rahu and Ketu in a negative sense. So she had some time allotment in a day. And in that is called as Bhadra Vishti Karan Kal. Bhadra Vishti Karan. Any auspicious thing you do, unfortunately, in this period, it just becomes a disaster. For example, one should not enter a new house during this period. One should not get marriages done. Or one should not open business. Or one should not do any other things which is auspicious. So even Rakhi should not be tied during this period. Because we tie Rakhi, the sister ties Rakhi to the brother in the mood of seeking protection for the sister. And she wishes all the good for her dear brother, all good fortune. And the brother gives gifts in return out of love and promises protection to the sister, mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, in a very loving way. So these things are very auspicious, and if you do that in the time period of Bhadra, then this becomes a disaster. For example, Shurpanakha Devi tied Rakhi to Ravan during Bhadra Vishtikaran Kal. And within 1 year, Ravan died. Not only Ravan died, but his whole dynasty was destroyed, except Bibhishana and some followers. This is also mentioned in scriptures. Then one more interesting story I cannot avoid telling you. This is like I told you about caution. So today's auspicious time for tying Rakhi to a brother by a sister is between 8:52 p.m. and 9:14 p.m. Only you have 22 minutes to get the most auspicious effect of tying Rakhi. Please do not tie Rakhi to brother before 8:52 p.m. Already the day is over. I'm already with you. So, okay. The good part of the story is, all of you know Bali Maharaj got so many benedictions from the Lord. It's a long story, you know, in 8th canto of Bhagavatam. And one of the benediction was that he will become doorkeeper of the Sutala Loka, which was presented by Lord Vamanadev to Bali Maharaj as a gift, as a reward, as a blessing. And to protect that, he said he himself will come and become the doorkeeper, and also he will send his chakra to celestially protect. So he went. Now he had gone from Vaikuntha to do the Leela with Bali Maharaj. So it was expected that like Narsingha Bhagavan, Matsya Avatar, and everybody went for some time and they came back. So Lakshmi Devi was thinking, he has gone down on a mission, he'll come back. But lo and behold, he didn't come back. So Lakshmi Devi knew where he had gone, so she came down searching, where is he? So she was told that he has gone to Sutal Loka with his devotee, you know, to protect, to become doorkeeper. So she went there and she knew the whole story by the time. So she went straight to Sutal Loka and she met Mahabali, Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj fell at her feet, offered pranams to her and said, how can I serve you? So she said, I want to tie Rakhi to you. And that was tomorrow's day, Shravan full moon night, full moon day. So she tied Rakhi to Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj became her brother. He became her brother. So she said, in return, what I should do for you, because you have tied Rakhi to me and you have made me as your brother. So she said, please give my husband back to me. So he immediately fainted unconscious. He fell down unconscious. He just couldn't take the statement. Like, you know, Dasharath Maharaj fainted when Vishwamitra Muni asked Lord Ram as a boy to take away to kill Tadaka and Subahu and Maricha. Like Haridas Pandit, the father of Nityananda Prabhu, fell unconscious. So like that, Bali Maharaj fell unconscious at the mere thought of losing. Somehow he was brought back to consciousness and he said, I have done so much of hardships I've gone through, so much of humiliation I've gone through, so much of tapasya I've gone through, so much of, I've even disobeyed my guru to achieve finally the Lord. And he has also agreed to come and stay with me here in whatever way it pleases him. And you are asking him back, how can I live? How will I survive? So why one solution for you, instead of you taking my Lord away from me, your husband away from me, you both can stay here with me only. So you will get company of your husband, I will get company of both of you. So it's a win-win situation. So Lakshmi Devi, out of her kindness, she agreed, and it was Chaturmasya time, all of you know. So they both stayed there in Sutal Loka. So on this auspicious day today, Lakshmi Devi had tied Rakhi to Bali Maharaj. And then both of them stayed from today onwards till Kartik Purnima, when the Chaturmasya is about to end. So that time Lakshmi Devi said, we stayed for 3 months with you. So please give permission for us to leave. So then very reluctantly he gave permission. And both husband and wife, Lakshmi Devi, Vaman Dev, went back to Vaikuntha from Sutal Loka. So this is also a very wonderful story of Rakhi-Bandhan. So in short, our Hindu culture, Indian culture, Vedic culture, it's so rich. It does not only deal with the Lord and devotion to the Lord and service to the Lord. Our culture deals with every small aspect of our day-to-day life also, which is very important, and how to make that day-to-day life into devotion and into Krishna consciousness, how to make the common dealings in life, make it spiritual, make it meaningful, make it deep, make it the way to realize Lord. All these things are there in our culture. For example, if you study Mahabharata, you'll come to know every small thing that you need to know and need to do in your common dealings in your life are all mentioned there. So it may not be categorized as Shuddha Bhakti or scripture in the mode of transcendental mode, that is Divya Guna. It may not be Divya Guna like Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or Ishopanishad or Nectar of Devotion. But still, we need to do and need to know many basic things. For example, if you walk in a forest area and a snake comes out, he may bite you, he may injure you. So you may step on a snake and he may in turn bite you and you will get poisoned. So in Mahabharata, there's a simple remedy given that moment you see a snake or moment you don't even want to see a snake, but you have a danger of snake, you are walking in a snake infested area and you are going to go through that for half an hour. Before only you say, Astik, Astik, Astik. 3 times you say, or you keep saying it. It is the name of a rishi who was the son of snake lady called Jaratkaru and human sadhu of her same name as Jaratkaru. He was Vasuki's nephew, Bhanja, Vasuki's sister's son. And he saved the snakes from getting destroyed in Janamejaya Yagya. So when he saved the snakes, Vasuki, his uncle, asked, "You saved all of our lives, so please ask for benediction." So he said, "Whoever will take my name should be freed from any fear of snakes." And he gave a mantra. If they chant this mantra, then promise me that you snakes will never bite that person. And then he said, if they can't remember the mantra because it's Sanskrit and it's a difficult mantra to memorize, especially in the fearful mindset, they should just say Astik, Astik, Astik. If they say that, then you all snakes headed by King Vasuki should grant them freedom from fear of all snakes. So that is why today if you have, and believe me, I did this katha at one place and one family went out on a boating in a river and water snake just came out, and spread his hood. So the boy remembered and reminded his father, "Father, you have to chant that mantra." So father said, "Astik, Astik." Immediately the snake went back, he never came up again. And after 1 year, I went to visit them somehow in Nasik last week. And the boy was waiting for me. When Prabhuji will come, I'll tell him the story, how we had the realization of getting saved from a snake by chanting the name of Astik. And when I went to their house for Prasad, the boy was very excited to tell me how my father chanted Astik and how the snake went away. Similarly, if you want to be free from the fear of robbers at your home or when you're traveling, especially when you sleep during traveling in the train or something, you just have to say Kafallak, Kafallak, Kafallak 3 times. And if you say that and you just have to sleep fearlessly, nobody will steal your luggage or your belongings. So I'm telling you some simple things which are very practical in life, which we need. And we are all confronted with this kind of fears. So these two things I told you only to tell you that there are hundreds of such things which are important in life, which we need to know and need to use them for practical safety and well-being. And that is our culture. And we have to be proud of our culture. In few days, we are coming up with 75th Independence Day. Huh? So it's a time to understand that I'm an Indian. I belong to Indian Vedic culture. My heritage is very rich, very opulent, and very a thing to be proud of. And to be Indian means, from the point of view of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is to become a devotee of the Lord and make others devotee of the Lord. Janma sarthaka kori, koro poropkar. This is what is the meaning of being Indian. And I'm not saying, because I'm a patriotic person. I'm definitely a strong patriotic person, but I'm not saying this. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who has come only 550 years back in Kali Yuga, who spread the holy name all throughout Yug Dharma. And he said, Bharata Bhumite Hoilo Vanshu Janmajar, who has taken birth in Indian continent as human being, should perfect his life by becoming a devotee of Krishna and Koro Paropkar. Janma Sarthaka Kori. Koro Paropkar means upkar on others. And what is the best upkar for others? Is to introduce them to Krishna and to help them to become devotees of Krishna and perfect their lives. So these are our important basic thoughts, because unless we are very strong people aware of Indian culture, living on the Vedic principles of life, day-to-day life, we cannot really make a foundation of bhakti. The foundation of bhakti is sadachar. Sadachar means Vaishnava etiquettes or etiquettes of human life. And sadachar is the foundation of bhakti. If we are sadachari, then bhakti is very easy, and bhakti can be like a tall building on the strong foundation of Vaishnava etiquettes or sadachar or Vedic culture. So in that culture, there is also, we have a very unique situation of festivities. Our Vedic culture is filled with festivities. In fact, Vedic culture is festivity only. In between, we do some things to fill in the gap to maintain our lives. But we live to celebrate festivals, one after another, one festival after another festival. That is our greatest heritage. And it's called as Utsav Priyata, Utsav Priya Desh, a country which is filled with festivals. And because it's filled with festivals, it doesn't have any room for mental illness like depression, frustration, schizophrenia, and so many other stress-related, difficulty-connected mental disorders. Because mind is so busy in celebration, in preparing for celebration, in planning for celebration, in pleasing the Lord, in decoration, in making good food, dressing up nicely, having nice katha, dramas, dancing. So many things are involved. Where there is time to get depressed, why should you feel depressed? There's no room to feel depressed. That's why in Western world, there are a lot of mental illnesses. And in Indian continent, there is hardly any mental illnesses. It's coming up now because India is getting westernized. So to the extent you are westernized, you are welcoming mental illnesses. To the extent you are Indian and Vedic and a Vaishnava lifestyle, you are keeping the mental illnesses away from you. I can tell you from my experience that only by following Krishna consciousness lifestyle, one can throw mental illnesses away. As a doctor, as a human being, I can assure you, as a doctor also I've got experience, as a person also, in my life also, I have experience of defeating any mental illness or defeating any negativity in mind simply by following Krishna conscious culture and Krishna conscious lifestyle. So India is so rich in festivities that every state has its own festivities. And at some point of time, when you may not have a festivity or you may be in the gap between two festivities, there's festivity going on somewhere else. To the extent when we have Pitru Paksha all over, in Vrindavan there is a beautiful festival called Sanji Utsav going on, Sanji Leela, 15 days. When we are only doing Shraddha over here, the Brijbasis are celebrating very, very sweet, beautiful festival which gopis used to perform between those 15 so-called Shraddha Paksha days. So this is our background, and we have to all know our background, learn our culture, learn the meanings behind every festival that we do, and teach our children all those festivities. What are the festivities? Explain them. That will be the real good service as father and mother and human being to our children and to our society. Like you may not know, there are in the Braj Bhumi, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of festivals. In 360 days of a year, there are so many festivals. And some of the festivals are also place specific. Like, for example, Kamsa Ka Mela. There's a one procession they take out on a particular day when Kamsa was killed. Okay. And that takes place only in Mathura part of the whole Braj Mandal. It doesn't take place anywhere in Vrindavan Dham, except in Mathura. It only starts from birthplace of Krishna, and the procession has a effigy of Kamsa. Everybody is shouting slogans against Kamsa. The effigy is taken to Ranga Bhumi, where the actual killing of Kamsa took place in the Akhada, in the wrestling arena. And then Kamsa is killed, burnt there, and they celebrate Kamsa's death and victory of Krishna. And similarly, there is a unique Rath Yatra which takes place from Barsana to Nandagaon, and Nandagaon to Barsana back, which takes place only in Barsana Nandagaon area, only one day in a year, on Haryali Tej, on the third day of waxing moon of this month only. So tomorrow is 15th day. On the third day of this fortnight, there was a festival called Haryali Tej, where the Rath Yatra takes place from Barsana. Sridama goes and goes to Nandagaon from Barsana and brings his sister Radharani back home from Nandagaon. And then Radharani starts swinging on the Jhula, and thus the Julan Yatra starts. How wonderful, huh? But we don't know. And if we know, we should tell others to know. Everybody should know. Why should only I know? All the esoteric, rare knowledge that you receive is only for distribution. If knowledge is kept without distribution, it gets putrefied. It has got negative effect on us, on our life. If knowledge is just acquired, knowledge is not distributed, then it serves as a gold crown on the head of a drowning person, which helps him to drown faster if he is wearing that gold crown. So knowledge is like gold crown. And if you happen to be in the river with gold crown, the weight of the gold crown helps you to drown faster. So we should not keep any knowledge with us. Whatever knowledge we receive, immediately distribute. Moment you come across a new thing in the reading scriptures, immediately distribute. Tell your friends, tell somebody, repeat it. And by that way, you will not forget, and others will get the knowledge, and they will also get excited and distribute to others. So, coming to the point of Balaram Jayanti is one of the hundreds of festivals that we celebrate in a pure Vaishnava way, in the pure Vaishnava festival. Balaramji is a very, very important personality in our life. Naham Balalabhyena, one verse which says, without being sufficiently blessed by Balaram, one will not receive the bhakti of Radha and Krishna. Without being sufficiently blessed by Balaram, one cannot enter the Braj Leela or enter into the divine pastimes of Radha and Krishna, which is the ultimate goal of life. To learn that is the ultimate goal of life. Prema Pumarto Mahan. we will not achieve unless Balaramji blesses us. So who is this Balaram? Balaram, in a original sense, in the spiritual world, is the first incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meant only for performing pastimes. That's why Balaram is called as Leela Avatar. He's Krishna's expanding into him was only meant for enjoyment or expanding his divine pastimes. That was only reason. And then this great personality, Balaram, who is actually non-different from Krishna, with only 2-3 differences. He has 64 kalas, 16 gunas, 6 opulences in full. He is actually constitutionally non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. But he is carrying a servitor mood, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, but he is happy to be a servitor of the Lord. So he is in servant mood. 1. 2 is he has got a color of a spring cloud. Krishna has a color of dark moon, dark cloud of rains, monsoon cloud. That is the only difference. Rest all things are same, and Balramji is so wonderful personality actually. He's the only personality in the whole creation who serves the Lord in all the 5 modes: neutrality, servitude, friendship, motherly, fatherly affection, and conjugal affection. All these 5 things. Nobody in the world, in the creation, including spiritual world, nobody has capacity to serve the Lord in all this or more than one. Everybody has only one. So one can be a friend, or one can be a mother fatherly mood, or one can be servitude, or one can be a gopi or conjugal mood. But nobody can be more than one or all 5. So it's a very amazing personality. Whatever Krishna uses, everything is Balaram himself. For example, if Krishna wears some necklaces, that is Balaramji. Krishna's Pitambar is Balaramji. Krishna's Singhasan is Balaramji. That means he has expanded himself into all these, foundational items. In fact, Balaramji has expanded himself to become Golok Vrindavan. Balaramji is Vrindavan himself. So when we go to Mathura, we first bow down to the ground there, because we know this is Balaramji on which we are stepping on. So we bow down and offer respects and beg forgiveness that to visit your beloved brother Krishna, we are going to walk upon you. So please forgive us. So everything that you name it, Krishna's glass, Krishna's bedstead, Krishna's singhasan to sit down, Krishna's chappals which he wears, Krishna's chariot, every single thing Krishna uses, Krishna's flute, every single thing, ornaments, is all Balaramji. And that is supposed to be neutrality, or in technical terms we call as Shantaras. In the Shantaras, he is doing all this seva. Then he is servant of Krishna, Dasyaras. That means he is, when we are there going to cow herding pastimes in the forest of Vrindavan, Krishna gets tired in between. Naturally, he is jumping so much and climbing on the trees, jumping in the water, again climbing on the ground and running behind the cows, playing flute, dancing, doing so many things, playing hide and seek, playing police and thief, so many games they are playing, jumping like frogs and jumping in the water like frogs, fighting in the water, stealing things, throwing them each other here and there, running behind. I can't imagine so many games. So he gets tired. Moment Krishna gets tired, immediately Balaramji puts him on his lap and pats him and massages his feet and serves him. Always looking for service. Whenever Krishna wants, all the time. Always looking to please Krishna and serve Krishna all the time. Then as a friend, Krishna will fight with Balaram, Balaram will fight with Krishna. They will tease each other. They will steal things from each other. They will jump on each other's shoulder and on the head. If they get defeated, they will carry each other on the shoulders. They will wrestle as equals, No taboos, no sankoch, no embarrassment. Freely doing everything that the friends do. Teasing, using funny words, irrelevant jokes, all those things that the friends do. Laugh for no reason, jump for no reason. All those wonderful things this friend Balramji does with Krishna. And so such a source of joy for Krishna. So three things are over: neutrality, servitude, and friendship. Fourth one is parental affection. How? Because he is a little older than Krishna. Definitely older than Krishna. So Mata Yashoda and Rohini will tell him, see, you are older to Krishna, so you are supposed to protect him. This Krishna is very naughty. He is always running at the banks of Yamuna, very close to the deep waters of Yamuna. He may slip in the water and fall down. He may injure himself when he jumps from the trees. So whenever he goes near Jamuna, you go and stand between Jamuna and him and see that it doesn't fall in the water. You carry a stick with you or carry a sword with you, Balaram. Oh dear Balaram. Oh dear Dauji. And whenever a demon comes, stand with him to protect him. So this is a protective mood, from demons or from dangers, cautioning, always being on watch and guard. My younger brother should not put him in danger. And to the extent his vatsalya, his parental affection is so much that he assumes a black color while he is in Vrindavan. That's why you see Balramji's, all deities are black in Vrindavan. Dauji, the south petal, in Bhandirvan, in Palwal, in Uchagaon. You go to any temple of Balramji. In Gokul, all temples, Balramji's deity. In Talwan, there is Balabhadra Mandir is there. Everywhere the deity of Balramji in Brajbhumi is black in color. Why is that? Because Krishna is dark in color. Balramji also assumes dark in color to protect Krishna and to confuse the demons who are attacking Krishna or want to kill Krishna. They should get confused between him and, because he also puts peacock feather in the same mode. He also puts, he also wears peacock feather, he plays on flute. He assumes dark color so that when Kamsa inducts a new demon, neither Kamsa has seen Krishna and nor the demons have seen Krishna. So how does he orient them when he sends them? He says, that boy who is dark in color, who wears peacock feather and who plays on flute, you have to kill him. And when the demons come, they find two such boys. So for time being, they get confused. That is Balramji's protective mood in parental affection. So till this point, till these four levels, Balramji is Balramji only, right? But now comes the conjugal rasa, conjugal bhav. That means Krishna loves his gopis. Krishna is male, gopis are female. So there is love between male and a female is called conjugal love, or madhurya ras, or shringar ras, we call in technical terms. But in common understanding, we know the love between man and a woman is called conjugal love. Now Balramji is a boy. So how does he satisfy Krishna? In conjugal mood. So he takes birth as younger sister of Radharani, whose name is Ananga Manjari. So Ananga Manjari is not different from Balramji. Radharani has got father named Vrishabhanu Maharaj, mother named Kirtida Devi, older brother named Sridama, who is a close friend of Krishna, and Radharani has younger sister called Ananga Manjari. So in the mood of Ananga Manjari, Balaram serves Krishna as a gopi, because it's a very beautiful technical explanation. Radharani has got 8 friends. They're called Ashtasakhis. And each Sakhi is also called as Parameshti Sakhi. That means there's nobody beyond them, nobody higher in love for Krishna, more than these 8. Of course, there are crores and millions of Sakhis Krishna has, but these 8 are supposed to be the primary one and the most elevated ones. So you name Sakhis, and each Sakhi has got 3 manjaris. So how many manjari are there? 8 3s are 24. And each manjari has got 1 crore assistants. So that means 3 manjaris of 1 gopi has 3 crores of assistants. And such there are 24 crores of assistants. 8 Sakhis, 8 3s are 24 manjaris, and 24 crore assistants. And out of these 8 primary Sakhis, first one is Rupa Manjari, who is the assistant of Lalita Devi. Lalita Devi is a prime Sakhi. Amongst the 8 also, there are 2 more prominent, Lalita and Vishaka. Most prominent. Amongst the 2 also, Lalita is the most prominent, the highest prominent Sakhi, friend of Krishna Radharani. And she has 3 assistants, Manjaris. One is Rupa Manjari, one is Labanga Manjari, and third is Ananga Manjari. So Radharani's first favorite Sakhi's favorite 3 assistants, one of them is Ananga Manjari. You can see. And she has got 1 crore assistants with her to assist Rupa Manjari, to assist Lalita, to serve Radharani. So this is Balaramji. It shows that wherever there is a possibility of service, Balaramji has captured that, already has captured that. There is no question of Balaramji not being there. In our local sarcastic language, you say, to poke your nose in everything. So Balaramji has poked his nose in every single service of Krishna. And his counterpart in Ram Leela is Lakshman. And why I remember this, because how each and every service was captured by Lakshman also. Lakshman was is non-different from Balaramji. In fact, this Balaram Tattva had appeared as Lakshmana in the Yuga previous to Dwapar Yuga, in Treta Yuga when Lord Ram had appeared. And you know how he was born, that when the Putra Kameshti Yagya was performed by Dashrath Maharaj, by the help of Rishyashringa Muni, who happened to be the son-in-law of Dashrath himself, Shanta's husband. Dashrath's elder daughter's name was Shanta Devi, who was born before Lord Ram, much earlier. And she was married to Rishyashringa Rishi. And that Rishyashringa Rishi came to Dashrath Maharaj to perform Putra Kameshti Yagya, to have a son. So at the end of the Yagya, Yagya Purush came out and gave 1 payasam pot to Dashrath Maharaj and told that you distribute between your wives. So what did he do? He divided that payasam in 2 parts. 1 part he gave to Kausalya, his foremost wife. Number 1, dear wife, and number 2, dear wife was Kaikeyi. So half was given to her, half was given to Kausalya, and half was given to Kaikeyi. Now what they did, Kaikeyi made 2 parts of what she received. Kausalya made 2 parts what she received. And they shared that second part, that means 2 second parts, to Sumitra Devi. So the part that Kausalya shared from her part to Sumitra gave birth to Lakshman. And the part that Kaikeyi shared from her part, he became Bharat. Sorry, Kaikeyi part given to Sumitra became Shatrughna. So Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharat, who was very dear to Shatrughna. Shatrughna was very dear to Bharat, because it was the same part of the 50% of the payasam. And 50% of the payasam which Kausalya ate gave rise to birth to Ram. Ram was born out of that. And the second part of that gave birth to Lakshman. This is how Lakshman was inseparable from Lord Ram. And Shatrughna was inseparable from Bharat. So this Lakshman could not imagine anything in life without Lord Ram being there. It could be eating, it could be sleeping, it could be learning, it could be archery, it could be hunting, it could be serving Gurudev, it could be you name anything. Whatever Lord Ram would imagine to do, Lakshman will be always part of it by default. So when Ram had to go to forest, Lakshman had to go with him. There is no question of staying back. His mother also said, you forget that you are my son. His wife said, you forget that you are my husband. No ties should bind you here. My motherhood, Sumitra said, and my wifehood, Urmila said, should not bind you. Your goal of life is only to serve Lord Ram. So he left. Lord Ram had no power to stop Lakshman, although he was not banished to the forest by their father. So he didn't have to go. Ram had to go. But Lakshman cannot imagine not being with Ram in any activity, happiness giving or sorrow giving. That is Lakshman, that is Balaram. In the forest, when Lord Ram would walk, he would go ahead and remove the thorns and pebbles constantly. It's not that Lord Ram went to 10 minutes walk. Even 10 minutes walk would cover 1 kilometer. And Lakshman would take out all the thorns, pebbles, and stones on the path of Lord Ram. Whenever Lord Ram would rest, immediately Lakshman will build a hut made of leaves, Parnakuti. And the Parnakuti was not 10 by 10 square feet, 100 square feet. No. I've been to Nasik. The width of the Parnakuti was a few kilometers in miles. It would be something like 15 to 20 square miles would be Parnakuti. But Lord Ram and Lakshman, both of them were about 25 feet height in Treta Yuga. And their inhabitations were also proportionate. And that he would weave and make it into a very beautiful house to stay. All the day he would go to forest, he would pick up wood for some heating, or he would pick up some fruits and berries and roots for eating. He would make leaf bed for Ram and Sita. He would massage their feet, he would press their head, he'll put them to sleep. Whole day he would be busy moment to moment. There was no time in between, there's no gap in between where Lakshman would be just doing nothing. Simply absorbed in service to Lord Ram. And then when Lord Ram and Sita would go to rest, you and me would think that, okay, duty is over, now you can go to rest. No. His mother, his father, his wife, all had told them that the forest is infested with very deadly animals and deadly demons, wild creatures. So you have to protect Lord Ram and Sita from these dangerous situations. So after they go to sleep, he will sit in Virasan. He will wander round and round around the hut with stretched bow and arrow, ready to kill any aggressor. And whole night he would be up till Lord Ram would wake up in the morning, and then again giving water to him and every single thing he would do. Lakshman also fought a very vigorous war in the Ram Ravan battle. Lakshman performed tapasya in between to develop power to kill Indrajit. It's not peaceful life in forest with fresh oxygen and moving around. It was a tough time for him, plus no sleep. People feel what nonsense. Somebody can sleep, cannot sleep without 14 years. He is Balaramji, he is Lakshman. He is a celestial divine personality. He is Param Siddha Purusha. So he had won over Nidra Devi. Nidra Devi came to him many times in the forest. He said, go away in Ayodhya and find somebody else. You have no place over here. He did not give shelter to Nidra Devi. That means he did not allow Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep, to hover on him and put him to sleep. Then Sita Devi was rescued and tested and accepted, and they went back to Ayodhya, and then Ram and Sita got married. There was Rajabhishek done also. Sorry, they got married before only, but Rajabhishek was done, coronation was done. And the first assembly of Lord Ram's Darbar started. And in the first assembly of all the ministers and King Lord Ram on Singhasan with Sita next to him, such an important event, the first, what you call Sachivalaya, that means the first meeting of all ministers where the king and the ministers are together. And Lakshman was found yawning, and many people started criticizing. How can this be? How can Lakshman do this? It's an important event. How can he yawn? So somebody corrected him. You don't know that he is first time in love, relaxed now from all the tension and the vigilance that he was going through. He did not sleep for 14 years. This is the first day that he is relaxed, that Sita is safe, Lord Ram is safe, well placed, well established as a king, everything is fine. So he had time to feel tired. First time in after 14 years, he got some time that he felt relaxed. And when you feel relaxed, then your all exhaustion comes up. And he yawned. He felt sleepy. That is the greatness of Lakshman, and that is Balaram. But because of 2-3 events, he was upset because of being younger brother. He was upset because there are some stories in Ramayana where Lakshman got very upset because he felt Sita was given injustice. She was treated with injustice. So it is not proper. But he couldn't say anything because he was an obedient younger brother. So he had to follow every word of his older brother, follow his life and soul. So he had to just do it against his will, with tears in his eyes. So he told Lord Ram, I will not come as younger brother next time. I'll come as older brother. Because you order me and I have to follow. The next lifetime, I become your older brother. I will instruct you and you will follow me. And that's why he became Balaram. He took birth earlier than Krishna and he became older brother. But whether he's the older brother or younger brother, his mood is only one, to serve Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, to satisfy him and to do every possible thing in service to him, in whatever capacity you want. So even when he came as the elder brother, he finally followed everything that Krishna wanted, even though Krishna didn't instruct him. But knowingly, unknowingly, willingly, unwillingly, he just followed and fulfilled Krishna's desires, all throughout his incarnation as Balaramji also. So he is the source of all power. That's why his name is Balaram. Bala part of his name is, he gives the strength of mind, of intelligence, of body and the spirit. Body, mind, intelligence and the spirit, Atma. All of these 4 things require strength. And Balaramji is the source of all the strength. Physical, mental, intellectual and spiritual strength. And Ram means Ramanti iti Rama. He gives pleasure to everybody who connects with him. In fact, he is source of all pleasure, all satisfaction. That's why he's called Ram. So he's Baladev. He's called Sankarshan because he united 2 families, Vrishni family and Brajvasi family. He united 2 families. He exhibited unlimited pastimes and in power in Vrindavan Dham. He played with Krishna as a cowherd boy. He herded cows with Krishna. He performed Ras Leela with his gopis. There are so many stories. I hope and pray that I will complete all the stories in my 12 to 14 hours of talk in the next 4 days. There's amazing stories of Balaramji in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Garga Samhita, in so many other books. We find unlimited stories of Balaramji. There's some part of stories in Vrindavan Dham, in the 10 years and 4 months life of Balaramji in Vrindavan with Krishna. And there are stories out of Vrindavan, Dwarka and Mathura, and other times he went to pilgrimage, and so many beautiful pastimes during pilgrimage, during his stay in Hastinapur and Dwarka. Amazing personality, immense amount of strength, and much more amount of love for his brother Krishna. They even stole butter together as childhood pastime. They skated together in the cowshed on the mixture of cow dung and cow urine on the abdomen, very fine mixture. They used it as skating on the stomach, holding the tails of baby bulls. They started the career of stealing butter together. But all that was only to please Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, all the time. Just to be subservient and just to be pleasing and just to be always of use and service to Sri Krishna. That is the sole purpose. And for that reason, Krishna has invested unlimited power in Balramji. And because of that unlimited power in Balramji is Adi Guru, the original spiritual master of all the living entities, including demigods, human beings, and other living entities. And because he is Adi Guru, the original spiritual master, all our gurus, our spiritual masters, are representatives of Lord Balaram. Finally, all the gurus serve Balaram, and Balaramji then recommends all of us to Krishna, and thus we are accepted by Krishna. If we love Lord Ram and have some feelings of enmity or envy towards Lakshman, or we love Krishna and don't love Balaram or criticize him or have some enmity or envy for Balaram, Lord Krishna says that the person's devotion is destroyed. His devotion to Lord Ram will not be accepted. His devotion to Krishna will not be accepted by Krishna and Lord Ram. So you may think I'm a great devotee of Lord Krishna and Lord Ram, but Lord Ram and Krishna themselves don't accept that devotion, which is not with respect to his brother Lakshman or Balaram. We cannot do that. You cannot come to my house and say, I love you, but I hate your wife. You cannot do that. You can't come to my house and say, I love you, but I hate your child, and you hurt my child. It's not possible. I will disregard your love for me and only consider your violence toward my beloved. So similarly, Krishna and Balaram, Ram and Lakshman are inseparable. You have to worship them, devote to them together. Then whatever you do is worth, is noticeable, is recorded, is accepted by the Supreme Lord. So tomorrow is the day to beg for that strength, to pray for that strength which we require to continue our bhakti, which we need to maintain our determination. Because what is important is determination in bhakti, not to lose our foundation, irrespective of the onslaughts of challenges that we go through. So we need strength, we need shelter. Balramji is Ashray Vigraha. He is our shelter. He gives shelter and then offers us to Krishna through his agency, through his hands. And when he offers us, Krishna accepts us. That's why tomorrow's day, whole day, we should pray for strength, beg for strength, beg for shelter, beg for physical, mental, intellectual, and spiritual strength to serve Krishna. The purpose of begging for the strength is not for me to become handsome, and not for me to become to enjoy senses, to make senses so strong and powerful that I enjoy the material world. All the strength that we beg for is to please Krishna, to serve Krishna, to submit our lives to Krishna, to keep our determination on consistently, to remain his devotee. For that we require strength. Amito Kangala, we are by nature weak. We are by nature distracted, by nature ill-determined. So we want to become strong. We want to become determined. We want to remain consistent, intellectually, mentally, remain sound on the path of bhakti to Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So I wish you all the best to spend tomorrow's day in great devotion right from beginning. Open your eyes, take first breath in the morning, remembering Lord Balaram, begging for his help, meditating on him throughout the day, calling out his name, praying to him, serving him, making food items for him, worshipping him, chanting his holy names, offering tulsi to him. Pray for his strength, pray for his mercy. Only by the dint of your desire to worship and please Balaram Shri Krishna will be pleased tomorrow. He will bless you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. So, if any devotee has some question, you may ask Prabhuji.
Just to remind you, it's the time to tie Rakis to your brother. So while having question answer, you can tie your Rakhi to your brother also.
What about those who already did that, Prabhuji?
You can now mentally do it again.
Okay.
Anyways, if you have done it, then you chant Hare Krishna so that it doesn't become abhadra. It gets purified or it loses its bad effects. Okay.
I have a question, Prabhuji. Why
Yes,
is Balaramji in our Krishna Balaram temple white?
Pardon me? That's that question I also want to ask you. That was only because Prabhupada desired it that way.
Okay.
That is the only thing I can say, because Prabhupada is spiritual master, the Jagat Guru, and if he feels that he should have deity of that kind, because I have myself told you that Balaramji is black everywhere in Vrindavan Dham, then why he is fair in Krishna Balaram, our own temple in ISKCON. So logically, I only feel Prabhupada just desired that way, so it's fine. Whatever spiritual master does is perfect from his own realization, from his point of view of devotion. But Balaramji, you should understand, in Vrindavan is first in command. So if you have any difficulty, you first approach Balaramji. He solves every difficulty in Vrindavan Dham. So Balaramji is first in command, Krishna is second in command, and Nityanand Prabhu is third in command in Vrindavan Dham. Any other question anybody has?
Any question, any devotee? Please unmute yourself and ask.
You have given them permission to do so?
Yes, Prabhuji. If they raise hand, then I might unmute them.
Am I audible to you fully?
Yes, Prabhuji. किसी भक्त का कोई question है तो please raise your hand.
Please speak freely. Don't worry. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session and, for setting up in the right mood for tomorrow's, Balaram Jayanti festival. Prabhuji, my question was that you just said that in Vrindavan Dham, Balaramji is the foremost and Krishna comes second, and then Nityanand Prabhu the third. So why Nityanand Prabhu, is the third? Because Nityanand Prabhu and Balaram.
No, because with Nityanand Prabhu is also Balaramji himself, na?
Yes,
so
yes.
This is not a hierarchy. This is like for you and me, when you have any difficulty, you approach them for that reason. Not in the mood of controlling, or not in the mood of sovereignty or sarvabhaumatva. Not in the mood of absolute power. Absolute power remains with Krishna only. But they have the authority and empowerment to solve your difficulties. So when we have any difficulty in Vrindavan, we first go to Balaramji and say, Tauji Maharaj, please help us. And Tauji Maharaj will help you. Yes, that is the mood. That's not to mean that Krishna is number 2 in power and Balaramji is number 1 in power. It's not like that. The king is supposed to enjoy. The servants are supposed to manage the show. Hari Bol. Anyone else? Okay. So if there's no one else, then we can end our session today.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for your precious time.
Jai.
Thank you for preparing us once again to start our Balaram Purnima with the thoughts of Lord Balaram tomorrow. Thank you so much for that.
If you perform Balaram Jayanti in the right mood, then you will be able to perform Krishna Jayanti in the right mood. If you do that in right mood, then you will be perfectly celebrating Radhashtami in right mood.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
And I look forward to meeting you again and again in future.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
In touch with you. And I pray to Lord Balaram that one day I take you all exclusively to Vrindavan Dham for Yatra.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Hari Bol, Radhe Shyam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.